North Korea's deputy ambassador to London has defected to South Korea. Seoul's unification ministry confirmed that veteran diplomat Tai Yong-ho has arrived in the country. He served as a counsellor at the North Korean embassy and deputy to the ambassador in the UK. He's now arrived with his family in South Korea, making him the highest-ranking diplomat ever to defect to the South. Let's discuss this with Peter Humphrey. He's a former diplomat and international affairs professor at the National Intelligence University and National Defence University. Good to have you with us, Peter. So this is a very significant defection, isn't it? Because this man will undoubtedly have a lot of information about North Korea.
It's stunning. And he will have a lot of information. And no doubt part of the deal here is that if that information is shared with the West, we will help you defect safely with your wife and children. He will know the ins and outs and dynamics of the party leadership. He will know about the workings of the Korean diplomatic service. He will know what scandals are going on in the Korean government right now. He will know about the smuggling operations that are run from embassies worldwide. Smuggling including nuclear components, smuggling including nuclear luxury goods for the regime. And he may even know about some other people who might want to defect. This is a real gift. He is the highest ranking diplomat to defect. There have been higher ranking members of the Korean government to defect. But as far as diplomats go, this guy is the big prize.
So how worried is Pyongyang going to be right now? And do we know what their reaction could be?
The reason he defected, apparently, was because of that reaction. One of his big tasks was to try and turn down the volume on the commentary in the West about abuses of human rights. It's become quite a firestorm, particularly in the UK. And his job, one of his jobs, was to try and turn down the temperature of all that anti-North Korean commentary. He failed to do so, probably through no fault of his own. It's probably an impossible task. He may have gotten in trouble for this or for something else. His tour was scheduled to end this summer, and suddenly he decides to defect. When you're called home to North Korea, sometimes that's not particularly good news. Maybe you did something wrong, maybe you've upset the regime in some way, and maybe you view it as a death sentence. So escaping to the West may have been an outlet for some terrible situation that we don't really know about. I'm not sure whether this was done through the means of the Central Intelligence Agency.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I was going to say that my understanding is that defections like this are pretty rare. So notwithstanding what the person defecting wants, it must take a lot of work to try and get access to someone like this and to secure their defection.
It can take a lot of work. On the other hand, there's something called a walk-in. That's a guy who, on his own volition, says, I want out. And he walks up to appropriate Western authorities and says, please help me get out of here. On the other hand, they may be talking to him for... Say again?
Sorry, we have a bit of a line delay on here. He's in Seoul now. What can he expect over the coming weeks and months in terms of procedure and debriefing?
Well, the South Korean government will certainly make life fairly comfortable for him for quite some time. His skills may ultimately give him some sort of employment later on, maybe at a university or in some way in the news media in South Korea. But for the next several months, maybe even for the next couple of years, there's going to be an extensive debriefing looking at all the members of the North Korean elite, their relatives, and so forth. He has potentially paid a big price here because he is so trusted, because he was allowed to take his family to London, because he's so high up. There will no doubt be repercussions against whatever family members remain in North Korea. And they're almost guaranteed to go into the very gulag that he was asked to protect in London.
Interesting analysis there, Peter. Really good to speak with you. Thank you for your time. Peter Humphrey there in Washington, D.C.